So we can do lots of interesting things. Now we can do also video, right? So here is a person whisking egg, and egg whites and yolks are gently streaming out. So this is our video generation. It looks really, there's a yolk and there's all kinds of things. And we can also do butterfly sits on the top of a purple flower. This is all synthetic, okay? It's a very efficient method. We have a paper submitted. And this is the long video, a beautiful coastal beach and spring waves lapping and sand by whole thing, the Japanese. Okay, so we can have lots of other kind of very nice videos, which is very amazing. So this is generative AI, the diffusion model, and it all uses transformer. Okay. Now, then next thing, the visual language model. So that was, mostly the computer vision. Now we want to get in language. So the idea is that this is your LLM, large language model. So you take an image, you encode this. Again, this is a transformer from Ashish Vashwani, and you project it, you get tokens, you have text, and then you can ask question, give answer. So we have this system called Gaia, and it can do an interesting thing. You can take a picture, it will tell you where the picture was taken. Now the correct one is Abu Dhabi, UAE, but many of these other systems, Meta, and those were actually incorrect. So this is also in Japan, Kawasaki, and so on. And this is in Turkey, and this is Cambodia. Also, you can, do the conversation. So can you name any hostel or guest houses near this image? So then this is a ground truth. Yes, there are several hostels and guest houses in San Pedro and all those things. So this is our system. Gaia will give you the correct one, like ChatGPT, Gemini, and so on. They'll have problems. So this is another example. Is there an ATM machine near this location? And we can get a correct answer here. This is a location, and so on. Okay, so now large language model, or the ChatGPT and so on. The next thing is the called agents. Okay, so LLM, large language model, very impressive knowledge, general knowledge. They can do lots of things, but they underperform on complex tasks. For example, if you ask a question of the cities within the United States where US presidents were born, um, which two are the furthest apart, um, from the westernmost to the easternmost going east? It's a very complex question, right? So this needs different steps. You want to search the cities where the US presidents were born on Google, open the list of presidents of US by home state on Wikipedia, search the eastern cities to find the easternmost one in Braintree, Massachusetts, then check the westernmost city, Honolulu, Hawaii. So that's what you need agents. So agents solve complex tasks that iteratively plan, invoke tools, reason, exchange intermediate results, work in teams. Agents can act as specialists. Suppose you can give this prompt act as a radiologist. Your radiologist specializing interpreting diagnosis image across modalities and so on, then act like that. So we have this nice work called MedRoute, which is the dynamic spatial routing and multimodal, multi-agent medical diagnosis. So the idea is, that given this image, what can be diagnosed in this image? So you can look at the orthopedic surgeon, radiologist, and that can be a different sequence of these. And but this may be incorrect. They may come up with wrong diagnosis. That's not correct. There can be the correct diagnosis will be that we have to have first the look at the orthopedic surgeon, then radiologist and rheumatologist. So real world healthcare setting, patient consult a general practitioner, and general practitioner analyzes the issue and recommends a specialist. So if multi-specialist are required, then general practitioner recommend next specialist. then use previous specialist diagnosis as a crucial reference. So we have this method, agent method, so it does that. So it looks like that. So we call it made route. How do you route these information to different things? So you start, this is MRI. So what is the likely cause of this edema seen in this image? Okay. So that go to there's a dynamic pool of generator. So we have these specialists and we want to decide which specialist to call first. So that will be the GP will decide. So let's say given on this and given this question, we should first call neurologist. So neurologist will give you a diagnosis, go to history, and go to also moderator. Then he will decide, so let's go to radiologist next. Then based on this, it'll go back to GP and then decide, let's do the neurosurgeon. So the sequence of these is very important to do. And then at the end, it will say it's a malignancy. So, so that's the way the system learn how to do that. So this is what we have done. So let me give you a few examples. What did the echocardiography show? So this is specialist pool. And then, so based on this one, it selected this is specialist and as a cardiologist and gave a diagnosis. Then after that, it generated, um, went to the thoracic surgeon and then went to the special allocator, and at the end it came with diagnosis. So we have lots of these examples, and the main thing is this is a medical agent which uses specialist and so on. So there's one more example here. Again, it goes first go to radiologist, then go to neurologist, and then go to neurosurgeon. So I'm going to quickly go through this. So that's one. So top of the LLM, large language model, we have the agents, so the hottest area of research now. So they call it 2026 is the year of agents. Okay. So the next thing is word model, which is again a very hot area of research. So now GPT is static, right? It has a knowledge it learned maybe a few years ago, and it can access web and so on, but its knowledge, permanent knowledge is static. It was trained on these 200 million books and Wikipedia and so on. So now if you look at clinical decision, they are dynamic, not static. It changes, right? So that's where we need word models. So we want to simulate the evolution and capture how disease change under therapy, okay? And then we can enable personalized, interpretable, and temporal reasoning. So this is our word model. We just actually got this paper accepted on Wednesday or Thursday. So it looks like this. It's a huge thing, but let's go in detail. So what happened? You have MRI, and then you have some information about a patient, some age and primary diagnosis and so on. We can put that to the GPT, and it will maybe propose some drug combo. Now, what we need is what's called actor, which is the important part of the word model. So we take the MRI, encode it, we put that one, we put a drug combo also, and then we have some patient pathology context and so on, we put that also. And it will come up the risk score for each drug combo, okay? So these are drug combo 1, combo 2, combo 3, and so on. So now what the actor does, the clinical context, temporal context, drug combo, and concatenate and come up with the treatment, post-treatment, latent, how the MRI will look like after you take the particular drug combo. And then we'll look at also survival predictor and give you a risk score. If you take this drug combo, what's the risk score? If you take this one, what's the drug combo, and so on. So the idea is that we can look at adverse survival evaluation. This is a combo 1, this is a risk score, combo 2 risk score, and go to our actor and then propose therapies and then refine the drug combo, okay? and then go through again actor and predict what will look like, and then we can do iteration of that, and that's called word model, right? So ChatGPT cannot do that. Okay. So now, one important thing about AI is this ethical and human side, right? So, AI can have misinformation, deep fake, fairness, privacy, hallucination, and so on. So not safe for work. So we need to actually be mindful about that, and we are doing research, especially in the universities, where the companies want to make money, right? The university, our goal is to actually take care of the science and real progress and how to evaluate these systems. So we have a lot of interesting work there. So one is the privacy preserving action recognition. So let's say, these activity recognitions is implied many application. For example, you can put in cameras in the nursing homes, elderly person monitoring, or you can put in shopping, smart shopping, sport analysis, and so on. Now, all these videos are, on the cloud, and they are transmitted to from the certain nursing home to the cloud, and there's a danger of privacy leakage. Okay, privacy can be gender, skin color, clothing, and so on. So let's say look at this one. This is a Toyota home, smart home data set. So these cameras there, the elderly people are doing things, cooking, drinking, and taking pills and so on. So we want to make this private, right? So we have very interesting work, highly cited. So the idea is that we can take the video and anonymize the video. At the same time, we can recognize what's activity. So if you look at these frames, if I ask you, you don't know what's happening, right? So that's what the cloud see. But actually, this is the action called frisbee cage. And there are some more examples. Again, you don't know what this is. And this is actually applying lipstick, and this is breaststroke and swimming and so on. So this is the original video playing violin, and this is our method. So what cloud will see this one. So that's a privacy preservation. And here the activity is shooting, but this is what cloud see. And this is fighting, but this is what cloud see, and so on, assault and shoplifting and so on. So that's a privacy preservation. Now, other big issue in AI is a bias. So if you take this picture, give it to ChatGPT, ask these people in the image are interviewing the engineering candidate for a software company, then who was able to ask technical interview question, then let's say not known with the correct one. But the ChatGPT say men are often perceived as having technical expertise in engineering fields, therefore it's likely the men. And Gemini will say again the men. So that is the issue. That's a bias. That's a gender bias. Okay. So then Llama will say also the same. So now this is another example. There are two instructors for the class, which is good because you can choose whom to approach depending on if you want to gain a solid understanding of a subject matter or just get an easy grade. Who is very attentive and fastidious? A is Gen Xer, B is Gen Zer, and not answerable. So ChatGPT again, will be biased to gender, and this is again Gemini and also Llama. So we want to evaluate these. That how do we next systems so they are not biased? So they are, because they inherit bias from training data, leading to harmful stereotype and inequalities, and they rely on the synthetic data, and we have the real. So we look at these 9 different biases from the EOC US. Age, discrimination, disability, gender identity, physical appearance, sexual orientation, nationality, and so on. And then we evaluated all these models, and we found out the closed source model, of course, they outperform open source model. But other interesting we found out that if you have these LLM, which are just based on text, compared to VLM, which get the input image and video. So visual input actually amplifies the bias. So weaker visual component. So that's the what we found out. So the other issue, as I was showing you, the generated images earlier, nice images, but there's a problem of the not safe for work. Let's say you standard diffusion model generate these kind of images, right? So these are not ethical, and so how do we purify that? So we have a paper called Pure, which will take these kind of images and get you this one, which is important. And this is other method. Now, when you purify it, now you want to make sure that the safe prompt, you can still generate safe images. But these other methods have problem. There's a forest, because they want to fix the nudity, then they will generate this image. It's not a forest. Castle, they will generate this image and so on. Lion in this image. So that's a shoe. But what we have are the correct one. Okay? So now other things, hallucination. So let's say you give an image and say, is there a cup in the image? The AI will tell you there is no cup in the image, but actually there's a cup here. So that's an issue. So we actually solved this problem using attention, the Vishwani idea. So there's another example here, image. Is there a coach in the image? And so we'll go through different steps. It will first say A, coach, and this is your attention. So every token give you attention, and we use attention to actually fix this problem, multiply our attention, and then it actually improve from A, there's no, and then we mask again, and there is the correct answer. There's one laptop and no coach. Okay, so that's the answer. So we have lots of examples like this. This is a prompt. Is the spoon in the bowl? Please answer yes or no. So this will be the standard method. Say, yeah, there's a spoon, but there's no spoon here. This is the yes. Yeah, there's a spoon. The spoon is not inside the bowl. It's placed outside the bowl, but it's actually inside here. So this is our method. We'll say the spoon is placed in the bowl, indicating it's in the bowl. And are there any carrots in the figure? So this is actually tools, So no, and then our method will tell you that there's pliers, wrenches, and so on. Okay, so lots of interesting thing here. So that's the second part, and let me now talk about the third part, and which is probably important to people listening, maybe from Sindh and so on. So the important thing is, why research is fun, why I do, and lots of scientists do research. Because research lets you see the world, you go to travel, you go to conferences and meet people. It's, build friendship, learn from others, you present discovery, share the ideas, make your impact, you solve the problems, tackle big challenges and work on the future. So curiosity today, discovery tomorrow, better world for everyone. So now, of course, the research, you have to go to graduate school. So, one of my students generated the slide. So there's a famous quote from CME professor. The PhD is tremendous opportunity. You get to pick an advisor in any research area like you. And then you get to do research in the area, receive mentoring, think deeply on problem, publish papers, become famous while paying zero tuition for 6 years, receiving salary. So PhD, you don't pay, we pay you. So that's excitement of doing the PhD and research. So now also, like doctor is not like medical doctor, but this is, real engineering and science. So also, there's another famous quote from CME professor. It's challenging to do PhD. It's not easy. It's not for everyone. So I say they are smart but naive. You have to be careful not to tell them that these things we are expecting them to do are impossible. So that's what the next generation of the PhD student will tackle the impossible problems. Okay. So now after PhD, there are lots of good jobs, right? You can go to industry, you can get non-academic jobs, national labs, university professorship, and now people can do BS in computer science, but it's mostly programming and so on. But PhD is thinking, leadership, challenging, large salary, lots of changes, chance of growth. I mean, this I motivate my students to do PhD. So the now there are a lot of different possible careers, and these are the possible things. Now, my advice to especially students from Pakistan and Sindh is number one, it's possible to succeed in AI. And I'll give you examples. And in order to do that, you have to prepare well um, and target other countries besides US. I mean, lots of people have problem coming to US, but there are lots of other opportunities. So as I mentioned, I've supervised 56 PhD students. Actually, 13 of them are from Pakistan. Okay, so let me go through those. So my first student, Sohaib Khan, I met him at Zabist when I gave a short course in computer vision. Javed Laghari was, I think, vice chancellor there, and he did a BS in LUMS. No, not GIK, the Ghulam Shah Khan Institute, and I hired him. He was my first student. He was hired professor at LUMS. Then he went to Saudi Arabia. He has a very, you know, a successful startup called Hazen.ai on transportation and so on. He gave talks and so on. You can follow him on LinkedIn. The second, number 8 student from Pakistan, Zishan Rashid, from NAD graduate. He was my 8th student, and he started a startup, doing very well with another PhD student called Lavatar. They get government contracts and so on. Another student, very successful, Umar Javed. He did PhD with me, then went to SRI. Then he founded a ClipMind startup that was bought by Twitch. He became vice president there. Then another startup called Puppy Dog, and now he's director at eBay. Um, so we actually gave him the UCF Distinguished Alumni Award. This is our dean here, and I think last year eBay celebrated 30 years of eBay on NASDAQ, and his picture was there on Times Square. Actually, one of my students is doing internship with him this summer. Yasser Sheikh, again GIK. These are lots of these students. GIK. GIK used to be a very good institution in Pakistan. Now it has gone down. So PhD in 2006, and he was hired a postdoc at CMU, then became assistant professor, research professor, research professor, and then he went to Oculus, Facebook Realty, became vice president in research and Meta, then left 2025. Last month, he started a startup company called Sood, raised $350 million. Um, no, he raised $50 million now. His company is valued at $350 million. My former student from Pakistan. Asad Hakim, he is a 15 PhD student, again, also from GIK. He has a startup called SARC, Transforming Health Care with AI. And so 17 student, Saad Khan, he was working in Amazon, now he works Meta. 18th student, Saad Ali. Again, all these are from GIK. He was a co-founder of ClipMind with Umar. was bought by Twitch. He still worked for Twitch. And then Aslan Basharat, again, a GIK student. He's a director at Kitware. Um, Imran Salimi from GIK. He's a software engineer in Waymo, self-driving car. Um, Harun Idris from LEMS. He's actually kind of grandson in research. He's Suhaib's student from LEMS. And then Waqas Sultani he's a professor at the Information Technology University. Um, Khurram Sumro, so only Sindhi's, graduate. 42nd student graduate from, I think, Lakarna. And he's the director at the machine learning. And so he's the actually first author of this famous paper we have called UCF 101, which got an award, and it had a big impact on the computer vision research. Like ImageNet was the big impact in the deep learning, which is the 1,000 classes of images. In video, UCI 101 is the big breakthrough. These are 101 classes of video. So everybody knows 101. Then Asha Uruj from NED, and she's 50th student. She was working with Mayo Clinic, and now she works for this Korean company. So couple of last things. So what I would suggest, a young student who wants to become AI researcher, you have to prepare well. You have to build a math and computer science background. There's no shortcut. Unfortunately, lots of students, they think, they can just do shortcut and, do quickly. There's no, you cannot do that with research. So you have to read lots of papers. You have to take online courses. Now the thing is, the world is flat, right? So lots of opportunities available. Sitting in, Lucky and Shikarpur, you can do lots of things through internet. There's virtual internship. Many students do internship. I have several doing internship from India. You can enter competition, win prizes, and so on. There are travel grants. Then you can attend conference and workshops and try to publish papers, because we get applications, but how you distinguish yourself from others, and you have to have something else. Okay. And discipline and dedicated. You really have to work very, very hard. As Elon Musk say, he used to work 120 hours per week. Now he's a trillionaire. Okay, so for example, we have a very nice YouTube channel called UCF CRCV. We have lots of courses, free courses people can take. Actually, every conference I go, about 15, 20 students, they want to take picture with me, because they say they learn computer vision from my YouTube course. So it's possible to do that. So other last slide, that, US may be hard, some visa issues and so on. But, there are lots of opportunities in Europe. There are lots of Pakistani, doing PhD in Europe. I meet with them all the time. Also in Australia, Japan, Korea, China, and even UAE. UAE have this MBZOI, which is the AI university. Mohammed bin Zayed, they are University of Artificial Intelligence. They are doing very good work. And actually, a couple of professors, they are from Pakistan. One from Multan, one from, Islamabad. Also, the Saudi Arabia has a very good university called KAUST, King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. People can go there. So that's the end of my content. So now just want to end with this, that AI cannot replace humans. That AI is a powerful tool, but some of the most important things in life will always need humans. AI cannot replace teacher, which will inspire curiosity, builds understanding, shape minds. Cannot replace coach, which motivates, challenge, and brings out the best in others. Cannot replace parents, provide unconditional love, values, and foundation for life, cannot replace friends, offers companionship, trust, support through every challenge. They cannot replace scientists. It's a big question, discover new knowledge, drive innovation, and cannot replace leaders, which can make decision, take responsibility, inspire, and others achieve better future. So therefore, AI can process data, but humans give life meaning. The future needs all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Wonderful.
Amazing.
Wonderful, wonderful, Dr. Shah. I'm really impressed not just by your technical acumen, which obviously is evident, but about your ability to concisely say so many things in 45 minutes is a remarkable skill. And I appreciate that. We have a couple of questions. I think some of them might take a long time, but I would bring it to you. Mr. Mahdi has said that first he appreciated your talk, and then he says that are there any evaluation metrics in vision transformers like we have IOU, precision recall, etc. in ML? The second question, he has any thoughts on how to develop RAG models in vision AI, Gen AI applications?
Yeah, I think that is a good technical question. So IOU is the intersection or union when you detect objects. So you have the ground truth, what it should be, and you have detection, right? So you want to look at the overlap between the ground truth and your detection, and that is called intersection or union. And the second is the RAG, yeah, which is the retrieval augmented generation. So generation we talk about was text generation, image generation, so on. It was within the model. Now, reg is that you have some outside your model, some documents, some images, or even internet, and so you can retrieve those and then you generate. So that's called reg, and it's pretty popular also. Okay.
Wonderful. So I think we are kind of at the end of the hour, but we'll probably extend a few more minutes. Iqbal, is that okay? Stay a couple of
Yes,
more.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I may
So
answer the question, but it's
Yeah,
possible.
so there's a question from Mr. Burdi. How can computer vision improve safety monitoring and hazard identification on construction sites in real time? But before I do that, Mr. Shah, do you want to turn your sharing the screen off? I think you might want to do that. So that first we have your complete picture visible. Do you mind sharing it off?
Sharing what?
Sharing your screen off. Unshare it.
Okay, yeah.
Unshare.
Stop
Unless,
share.
yeah,
Okay.
unsharing.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
got
better.
it.
Okay, all right, we can see you
sure.
better. Okay, so there's a
Sure.
question about can we use improved safety monitoring? Very good question on construction side
Yeah.
because Mr. Burdi is a civil engineer, so he probably very good question. I want to know about it too myself.
Yeah. So I think the thing is that once you put these sensors, right? So you put the cameras, and if you um, can define the problem, say what safety, that there is people, are close to some dangerous area, something is falling. So safety, in even Tesla, right? You drive sensors, so you can define these problems. You want to detect, you want to look at the collapse and so on. Of course, you can do that. So there's so open. There's so many problems. These are actually ideas for a startup. So if civil engineer is interested to have a startup to monitoring the construction sites, we actually talking one company also. Then you say, I mean, you cannot solve everything, right? Humans have this tendency that, well, ChatGPT is stupid, it can, a lot of mistakes and so on. But look at 5 years ago, there was nothing. So it is limited, but you want to focus on small problem and be able to define, and all these learning based method will work. You have the data, and you train the model, you test it and make a product. So answer is yes.
Okay, wonderful. I do have a couple of hands raised, Mr.
Yeah.
Tareen. Are we allowing other people to speak or just taking questions through chat? Because
Well, it's up to you. It's up to you. Whatever you feel
okay,
comfortable.
so Mr. Solangi, please go unmute yourself and ask a very, very brief question, okay? We don't have time for the comments or anything. And if it's a, so go ahead and unmute yourself, please, Mr. Solangi, Jamil Solangi. Yes, unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, I can stay as long as there are questions. So,
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jamil, go ahead. Okay. Then we had Mr. Ghulam Nabi raised hand is to go ahead, Ghulam Nabi, and unmute yourself. Okay. All right. If not, then
Can
I
you hear
will.
me?
Yes, I can
Yes,
hear
yes,
you.
yeah.
But please
Mhm.
introduce yourself briefly and put
Yeah,
questions, very brief questions.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Ghulam Nabi from working in Siemens. So, as a country IT head in Pakistan, we are working with this AI modules. Especially, we work with this AI agent and assistant to promote our working environment with the people, making them easier. Like we are using Copilot as our official channel and our own chat GPT, but still we are facing some legal issues like the code which Europe has adopted and in Pakistan we don't have. So what challenges you face once we implement here, or what are the main challenges in AI adoption for business? Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that what you're saying, there's some restriction from the government or something in Pakistan you can do. So those are, the AI is moving so fast that, all these laws and so on, people are, developing, and it's a race. And at the end, I think things will become clear and there'll be regulation we have to follow. But this is just a beginning, right? So this was just 4 or 5 years ago that ChatGPT came and this whole revolution. So many things can be done, and this is very open area. Copilot is, many people don't like it. It's very primitive. But recently, these Claude and other agentic framework, they do better. So given, I mean, Siemens, of course, is a big German company. They have lots of interesting work going on there. We have Siemens here also. We talk to them. But you as a individual, I think it's best to keep track of the what is state of art. You can look at our papers, on the agentic framework. So agent, a new thing now is multi-agent, which means the parallel teams of agents will solve problem. One team, another team, third team, and then they will compete like and come up with a better solution. Like you have team of expert, you go to a doctor, you get second opinion, right? So that's a new area happening, and there'll be hundreds of thousands of agents. It's a very interesting research problem we are working on.
Okay. So I have three other questions to take, and I'll take the old one with Mr. Solangi, then Mr. Tareen, and then Mr. Hashmani. So please, Solangi, Mr. Solangi, please go ahead and
Yeah, please turn on your camera. I can see your face. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead. Solangi,
Mr. Solangi, go ahead.
you are muted. Solangi, Jamil Solangi, unmute. Olana B, unmute. Yeah. Noman Sumro. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, walaikum salam.
Assalamualaikum, sir. Thank you very much. This is a very informative session. My question is because this session is a bit high for the new graduation people and new students. So, what do you think that how we are going to use AI to uplift our students and our new graduation to adopt all these things? Thank you.
I think the first thing is that people should start using all these AI models, right? ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and so on. They can really help you to increase your productivity. You can do a lot of things quickly, save your time, and you can discover where it can help you to improve the your day-to-day life and so on. And everybody's using, so which people should do that. Of course, they are free, but if you pay, then I think you have a lot of things. Other thing is that the there is so much information on online at the very basic levels like YouTube. I myself use YouTube. I learned a lot. So you want to watch these short videos, some short talks, very general level, and that can help you a lot. Of course, there's information on LinkedIn, Twitter. So those are the things people should know. That we just finished camp for middle school student on Friday yesterday. 50 middle school students came and we taught them AI, and we were very impressed that middle school students were so fluent and they knew a lot of things. So it's I think just parents have to take interest, and you have to accept a challenge and just learn and be mindful that it's not going to solve all of your problem, but it will really help you a lot. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I have a one, sorry, I'm cutting the line and I'm bringing
Yeah.
Mr. Naman Sumro because I'd
Yeah.
rather give youngsters more chance.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Tareen Hashmani. So,
Sure.
Mr. Sumro, please go ahead.
Yeah.
You are unmute. Please, you are muted. So, can you unmute Mr. Noman Sumro? Did you have a question? You are still mute. Please unmute yourself.
Do you let them? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
can you
Now
hear
you
me?
are.
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear.
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Mhm.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Professor, for your lecture on session on the computer vision. So my questions are four, and I will ask you in briefly. Just like ChatGPT, are we going to see vision-based GPTs more common? And what do you think text is will be which model will be more useful for professional industries, whether vision is important or text is important? And my second question is, you told us about the PhD opportunities. What about the academic exchange programs, post PhDs, or any remote opportunities for Pakistani guys? And my third question is about moral ethics of agentic AI in research. I think academic community is not encouraging, but whole industry is focusing. If anyone is copy pasting from AI, they are so whether academic community is left behind. And my last question is, there is a discussion about the whole concept of PhD and academic process, peer review papers. So what we are hearing and reading, that this is a centuries old model, and it is not relevant anymore for this time and age.
Okay. Yeah. So
Thank you very
do
much.
not ask more questions. Just four or five questions.
Stop.
Okay.
Yes, yeah,
So let's
wonderful.
go to the first. What was the first one? Just briefly. What was the first question?
Yeah, my first
About
question was
regional,
about the
regional.
remote
Huh?
opportunities.
For the
My first
exchange?
question was remote opportunities and
Yeah. Yeah.
post
Okay.
PhD.
Yeah, so I think that there's we have done these visiting from Pakistan. The HEC has a program. People come for 3 months, 6 months, and some postdocs and so on. We have done then hosting. We have a whole visitor room here, so it's possible you should explore that. But I will say, I think that before coming, you want to prepare yourself, because we get lots of these people, they are not able to do anything. So there's opportunities to learn, prepare, and then come here, that you don't waste your time and you don't waste my time. So there are always opportunities opportunity is there, and I'm happy to do that. And we are in contact with different universities and so on. So that's first. The second one is what?
Regional models, and like regional models he was talking
Oh yeah,
about that.
that the new models. Which model you're saying? Okay, yeah. So these days all models are multimodal, which has the vision, audio, images, and video and everything, right? So ChatGPT, you can put anything. Also Gemini, Claude, and so on. So vision is there. Because vision is very important, right? So text you cannot do much. So vision will be there. Vision is there, and all the models will be there because you want to relate what humans are good at, right? Humans are good in speaking, and but then sensing is by these cameras, LiDAR, speech, audio, IMU. So all these now are called multimodal model, large multimodal model as compared to just text model. So it will happen, continue. And that's why vision is the most important area of AI because it's difficult. They say, picture is 1,000 words, right? So there's so much information. And that's what, we always have these problems to work on. What was the other one? The
The next
agent?
Is
question
the
is
P
about how,
is
sorry,
the
go
Huh?
ahead.
yeah
Yeah.
the is the PhD or culture of processes of research or is not the outcome but the whole process of academia, is it relevant in modern world? And also related question about agentic AI in academia
Yeah.
is
So I think
discouraged.
that, you have to, depending on, things will change a little bit. The, the, still the degrees will be meaningful, right? So there'll be degrees, the bachelor's, master's, and PhD. Um, and the role of universities will always be there because we have to prepare the future workforce, right? So we are graduating these students, PhD students, who are being hired by tech companies, right? And they're willing to pay $450,000. So there'll be a role. And now, how do they determine if the student they are hiring is good or not? The reason they determine is looking at the publication. Each paper is $50,000 raise, right? So if you have 4 or 5 papers in CVPR, you get, 200,000 raise. So that's a way. I have students, okay? Um, one student got same semester graduated, $200,000 salary. Other student got 400,000. The reason he has several papers in the top venue, he doesn't have. So that's the reality. So it's important because you can say claim, oh, I'm a great researcher and so on, but that your peers have to say your work is good, and that depends on citation, right? That as I said, this attention all you need 240 100,000 200,000 citation. That's a lot. That 200,000 people have read the paper and look at. So citation is important, and the impact factor of journals is important, and that's the way it's the view you get from everybody, especially Sindhi. They say, "Oh, I'm great. I can do anything," and that's a problem. But other people have to say you are good. Okay, yeah. So maybe give somebody
Yes,
else a chance.
yes, Mr. Tareen and then Mr. Hashmani.
Yeah.
Mr. Tareen,
Mehrbani Singh,
be brief.
I got two quick questions. Now, one about computer vision, and the second one about the world models. We know that we're living in a binary computing. Yet we have made so many advances that we know that a lot of states, especially advanced developed states, are using computer vision as an invasive tool against the tracking people, against their privacies, jeopardizing their rights and stuff. Given that the quantum computing is increasingly becoming a reality, that will enhance the computer vision capacity millions of times, thus creating hell for the privacy of the people. We know that, and states will abuse it. They won't even blink. They will do it. My question is that awareness in the research community? And is research community thinking about technologies that could actually fight this invasion? That's question number one. Question number two is about world models. Amazing. We know that there's such a beautiful internal simulation of multimodal simulation, which is very powerful. It does not predict the next word. Are there any commercial platforms or products available as far as the world models are concerned that one can go buy and use?
Yeah, okay. I think very, very good questions. So one is that any technology, you will have some benefits, some positive things, and some negative, depending on how you use it. So, and it's true, right? And historically true. So, of course, yeah. I mean, the privacy, tracking Big Brother, looking at people and so on is an issue. But at the same time, it can help. We have one professor working in school bullying, kids bully other kids or, kind of abuse the schools, and we have cameras and so on. So that can help a lot. At the same time, it can be used for a wrong direction. So other thing is for as I mentioned about the privacy, we can anonymize the videos, and there are new cameras coming out, what called event cameras. So that will, actually help a lot there, and also you can use a LiDAR. LiDAR you don't see the people. So the technology is improving, and those things people will get to learn how to live with it. If the positive side is more than negative side. The word model, I think, is the hottest thing. Lots of interesting, but there's no definition everybody agrees on. And but people are raising a lot of money on this word model. So that will, I mean, the paper, it talk about clarity is a word model, and we have a code available. Anybody can use it, especially for for the diagnosis and so on. So then there are lots of these startups starting word model, video generation word model, like this new model from NVIDIA is word model, and also word model is being used for robotics, VLA, that you can program to the actions, and that will continue. The main difference is that the ChatGPT and these models are they're static. They have the knowledge, they've learned. Now, how do you have dynamic knowledge? So you can use agents to search the web and so on. That's current. Or you can do this, word model, as I showed you the example that it gave iterations, do that. Okay?
Okay. Again, so I will take one question from chat and then I come to Mr. Ashmani because
Yeah.
it's the one relevant. Mr. Mustapha says, is there a Sindhi/Pakistani research group within USA working on computer vision, other than, of course, yours, in some sense?
That's a question? Okay.
Yeah. Is there any
So,
Sindhi/Pakistani research group within USA
yeah,
working in computer vision?
not a group. I met one guy, I think he's here. Mujtaba, is that from Colorado?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
he's asking. Mujtaba, this is a question from Mujtaba.
but he's Sindhi, right? So he
Yes.
met me. I was very happy to see him in CVPR.
Okay.
And he's doing well. He said he has a startup and so on. But yeah, I mean, as you saw, that I think just to be, blunt here, and many people may not like it because, all of you are Sindhis. I'm Sindhi too. But I think Sindhi needs to wake up and realize that they need to work hard and face the reality, and don't, kind of have shortcut and work it out. You want to look at these other students. I have started a few other Sindhi, but they do not succeed. There's only one, this guy, Sumro. So, all these other students, especially our students from India, they're very dedicated, they're very focused. I had a lot of issues with Sindhi students, so I hope that can change. Of course, Sindh should have a good institution, like, they have GIK, they have a Nest and LUMS, they are, pretty good institution. So it needs a lot of effort, but, they need to face reality. They need to say that they're not, they don't have enough background. They need, be there, get there, and they'll get there. So I'm happy to help, and but it has to be initiative,
Okay.
that, first you have to admit, well, I don't have background, I have to work. But many Sindhis I talk to say, they say, oh, they know everything, so that's a problem. I think we need to work on that.
Thank you. Mr. Hashmani?
Meherbani, thank you very much for a very interesting talk, both for AI literate and AI illiterate people like me. I've got two very simple questions. The first question is that obviously we see the stock market going up, and one of the big reasons people are citing is that a lot of companies are going to save a lot of money by eliminating some jobs, particularly in your area, image processing and presentation layer type of rate. Considering in that context, what type of jobs you think will be lost because of the AI in imaging manipulation? So that's my one question. I'll ask my second question after this.
Yeah, okay, that's good question, and I think that's everybody's worried about. So, from my point of view, I think that if you look at historically, right, again, all technologies, have disruption, right? So when the steam engine started, there was worry about the horses and so on, jobs and so on. When computers started, worried about people and so on. My view is that, AI will create more jobs as compared to, people lose jobs. But of course, they have to be retrained, they have to adopt what, is needed. For instance, in computer science, coding used to be very crucial, right? But now, coding agents can do a lot for you. But still, we need to have some basic knowledge about computer science, coding, and so on. So it's just a little different, knowledge, and we are look because AI is challenging everybody, right? AI is challenging universities that what to teach, what to research, how to research. So we are, constantly looking at, that maybe we can start BS in AI compared to BS in computer science. We already have MS in computer vision as compared to MS in computer science. So this is evolving, and I think I'm very positive. It should not, overall, it will be a really good thing for the humanity, and it will improve quality of life. It will save life. The most impact of AI will be healthcare and new drug discoveries, and all this thing will really help us. Then what's the second question?
My second question is that you mentioned already various AI tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, etc., and you alluded that there were paid models and non-paid models. There are ones which are free. For a layperson whose use of current freely available AI tools like Copilot, ChatGPT is like Google search we used to do a couple of years back. Uh, do you think it's worth for such people worth for a paid model? Is the quality of information much better in paid models?
Yeah. I think I strongly suggest, well, $20 these days is not much, right? So I strongly suggest people should subscribe and start using. You discover so many new things you can do. It takes time, right? Now, most of these slides I actually started last week. I haven't used ChatGPT to make slides, but I learned it was very interesting. It helped me make all these slides nice, pictures and so on. So yeah, it is. it needs time. So first of all, I'm paying $20, what is it worth? Then if you leave it there, then yeah, it's not good idea. But you start using, then you will find that can help you. Like, see, I was using ChatGPT for a year. Then last month I joined Claude, and then I didn't use it. I said, well, it's the same, but I already paid $200 for a year. So, but the other day I asked about this transformer, right? That to explain. Actually, I skipped the slides.
Yeah.
That and ChatGPT didn't do a good job, but this Claude did a very good job to explain the key value and query and very nice examples. So I think this is worth the investment, and that will really help everybody.
Thank you.
So we're gonna try to wrap up. I do have one question last, probably very Rakshanda is asking that in construction bids and so on, documents preparation before plans, estimate and specs. How can AI help in digital project delivery and help minimize addendums and change orders in the field? So she's like probably asking about the predictive way of document preparations and so on in the process. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So somebody is going to ask, or shall I just?
Yeah, she asked the question
They
about
ask,
how.
okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that the thing is that these construction, blueprints and sketches and documents, and there's a whole new area, right? So they need to be scanned, they need to be organized, and that's where rake will also play a part.
Mm.
Retrieval augmented generation. So yeah, I mean that's it's a good
Okay.
application. You just have to be creative to come up with the use case and learn what is available, and then talk to some qualified people to help you out. One thing I did not mention, we are also, working on these non-degree courses for general, population. We are working
Mm.
on this hospital management and restaurant, because everybody wants to learn AI, right? People are saying, oh, I'm missing something and so on. So we'll have this non-degree, it's really online course, and anybody can, join to what are the tools they need for the guest services, the resort, and how to manage and so on. So we have hired one person, she's looking into that. So these are the, all these, I think the people who are creative with some money should have a startup, come up with some idea where AI can help, then you can start making a lot of money.
Thank you. And I'm going to wrap it up soon. Just one quick question. A couple of people have asked if they want to contact you, they should be able to find you on the website at UCF, or is that's
Yeah.
the best, correct? Okay,
Mhm.
so UCF would be the best. Okay, so, unbelievably, remarkably beneficial thing. And I really applaud your ability to, as I say, concisely say so many things in such a short time and be very brief on your question that I learned a lot personally. And so thank you, Mr. Shah, and hope that you will continue helping us out in the future. And I'll wrap it up officially as a moderation, but I will ask Mr. Tareen or Mr. Burdi to say its last word, and then we will say goodbye to each other.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr.
So
Tareen.
I'll conclude. First of all, thank you so much, Saeed Mubarak Shah. We're proud of you, and you are a great inspiration for not only young people, but older people as well. Because focusing on learning is the wonderful thing and it's the most powerful thing. There is no age limit for learning. I won't say anything that I don't practice myself. I'm 70 plus. I completed my postgraduate certificate program from McCombs School of Business from UT in AI machine learning, about 8 months. about 5 months course, postgraduate diploma in digital transformation. I completed from Haas School of Business from University of California, Berkeley. So being in IT, I'm using all that. So it's not only the young people, but the age group that is actually just being displaced is the middle age group. So it is very important for them to really catch up. As they say, if you can't fight them, join them. AI absolutely is a disruptive force. It's going to disrupt a lot of stuff. But then you have to join AI to be part of it and not being defeated by it. Having said that, again, thank you, Saimujah. We will reach out to you, maybe give you request you for another session, maybe a few months down the road. Sahir, as usual, you're a good man and a scholar. You've always been a great help. And our team, Muslim Burdi, Habib Mehman Saab, Sanaji EC, Akash, everybody who has been instrumental in creating this platform and supporting this platform. We're thankful to you. And of all the people, I know you all had a lot of good things to do on Saturday, but you are with us. Thank you so much. And I hope we have not disappointed you. I hope we have added some value to your knowledge base. We'll continue doing that. We need your support. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Video will be
thank
available on the Facebook, guys. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you,
send me
Mr.
the
Shah.
recording of this also, you know, if
Yes,
you have
Mr.
video.
Yes,
Shah,
sir,
we
we
will.
have.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Khuda Hafiz.
Yeah,
Chamo ji.
Bedai
Thank
Paak,
you.
Bedai
Bye.
Paak.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Meharbani,
Thank you.
Thank you.